Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, A Day in the Life of Rhea. Thanks for stopping by and tuning in, and welcome to today's video. So for today's video, I'll be discussing the cost of living here in Cambodia for a year. So I'll be looking at April 23rd, 2020 up until today, April 23rd, 2021. So I'll be looking at how much I spent within that year, and I'll be breaking it down into different categories for food, whether it was groceries or delivery, as well as vacations, and I'll be breaking that down along with transportation, medical expenses, visa fees, Airbnbs and hotels, as well as entertainment. So if that sounds of interest to you, then keep on watching. So before I get into these numbers, I just thought I would add that I'm a very frugal person and I'm very strict when it comes to my budget. I do my budget for 6 months down the line ahead of time, especially being here with no job. I like to know what the future looks like and make sure that I could survive up until that point. I just thought I would give people an idea of what I spent in a year, and that could give you insight if you're looking to maybe possibly move here. But the average person will probably spend a lot more than I do, but this is just what I spent. So by the end of this video, I'll make sure to put everything up on the screen, the totals along with each category and how much I spent for each one, so that you can keep track, because I know it might be hard to keep track as I'm going through the video. So April 23rd of last year, I think it's such a coincidence, I had to move out of my last apartment.
Lady, if only she was. You can turn me on. You got too much love. Can I see you coming? And just take it.
And he actually gave me my security deposit back along with half of my rent the same day. So that money won't be added towards my living expenses as far as apartments. So I'll have to calculate what I spent that on, most likely food and entertainment, but I'll get into that later. So from the end of April of last year and the whole month of May, I stayed in the hotel that I stayed at before I moved to my apartment. So after that, I moved to Siem Reap, and once I got to Siem Reap, I actually moved 6 times. So for all the hotels and Airbnbs that I stayed, I'll be adding all of those together. So for this past year, I spent $530 on hotels, and that's not including vacations. And then for Airbnbs, I spent approximately $2,100. So for cell phone bills, it's only $8 a month, and sometimes I get a plan, sometimes I don't. So within that year, I spent about $50 for my cell phone plans. So for my visa fees, I spent about $370, and for my medical fees, I actually gave in to go to the hospital here at one point, and that bill was for $60. Okay, so you know when you staying in hotels and you might not have a kitchen, you order out a lot. So after tallying up all the food deliveries for the year, it came up to $600. That sounds like a lot, but you know, it is what it is. Alright, so next I'll be discussing transportation, things like tuk-tuks, riding a bus, or riding a boat or a speed ferry. So when I lived in the other city, I didn't live close to the market, so I was catching rides a lot more often. But now, if you don't know, in my other videos, you will see that I walk just about everywhere that I go. So I'll be adding up all the tuk-tuk rides, the bus rides, and the boats. Alright, so for transportation, not including vacation, I spent $36 on tuk-tuk rides, and that's only for what's been withdrawn out of my account, not including cash. I know I spent cash on some rides, and I'll be looking at the total amount of cash that I withdrew within that year and try to break that down further. And I also was going to add in the boat ride that I took, but I'll just add that into the entertainment category later. So for the bus portion of my transportation, I spent $30, and that's not included for the vacation transportation. Okay, so this part was pretty hard trying to figure out how much I withdrew within a year, and not including vacation and my visa fees. I withdrew $1,175, so I have to see how that breaks down into different categories. So I know that most of my withdrawals have been for groceries, but I'll look further into it and see how it breaks down. Okay, so this part really stressed me out. I didn't think I would finish the video because of it. I actually felt like I was back in chemistry class in college, and I almost gave up. I was overwhelmed. It took me about 3 hours to figure out what I spent on the cash that I withdrew in a year. But I pretty much can tell because I know that when I take out $20, that's mainly for groceries. Okay, so out of the $1,175, I spent $890 on groceries and $285 on entertainment. Okay, so for my birthday vacation, I spent about $515, and of that, $280 was for spending, food, and shopping, and then $180 approximately was for the hotels that I had stayed at, And $22 was for the speed ferry, and then $30 was for my bus transportations. So the cash that I got back from my previous landlord for the security deposit and half of my rent, I used more than half of that for the hotel that I went back to once I left the apartment. And I already factored that into how much I paid for hotels for the year. And the rest of it went towards groceries and entertainment, which broke down into $90 for groceries and $65 for entertainment. So after all of that, I realized I had about an extra $80 in transactions, which breaks down into $55 for groceries, $15 for fast food, and $10 for entertainment. So my last category that I'll discuss is for holiday spending, which will go into my entertainment category. And so for Christmas, I withdrew $180, and $40 of that went towards my hotel, which I already included in the hotel fees. And for Valentine's Day, I withdrew $120, and $40 of that also went towards the category of hotels. So the rest of that was mainly for food, for Christmas, and for Valentine's Day. But I did get a lot of treats within that money. So I know that it seems like, my numbers been all over the place, but right now I'm about to go ahead and put everything on the screen and total everything up and break it down into categories. Okay, so just to recap and make some sense of these numbers, I'm about to put everything up on the screen. I'll be looking at my paper. I was going to try to challenge myself and get the rest of this video done without looking down at my notes, but it's a lot. I'm tired. It's 3 a.m. and I have to get up early and go do another video, but I will not be doing that if I don't hurry up and get some rest. All right, so without further ado, so I spent $530 on hotels, and that included my hotels for Christmas and Valentine's Day. I spent $2,100 on Airbnbs. Cell phone was $50. Visa and fees associated was $370. My medical bill was $60. Food delivery was approximately $600. Transportation was $66, and that breaks down into $36 for tuk-tuks and $30 for buses. For my birthday spending, it was $515, and of that, $280 of that was for spending, food, and shopping. Hotels was $180, speed ferry was $22, and $30 was for the buses. So groceries totaled to $1,130, and entertainment totaled to $420. Okay, so for the grand finale, we're all about to find out because I still don't know the total. I'm about to add it up and come right back. Wow. So after all that figuring out and tallying up, it only came up to $5,841. But I don't even know what to say about that. But now we all know what I spent within the year. And I know that that's on the low end, but that's just what I spent. So that has been how much I spent here in Cambodia for a year and the breakdown of everything. So if you found that useful or you're still watching, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you would like. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. So if you're still here, I thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!